Good day everyone, my name is Jerlyn I. Husay and for today's video, I will be doing a short enumeration and discussion about postmodern and modern culture. But before that, let me tell you first what is postmodernism and modern culture. Both postmodernism and modern culture are literary movements that took place during 19th and 20th century. Postmodernism is a movement that began in the mid of 20th century and often described as reaction against modernism. In the postmodern worldview, everything is contingent and nothing is fixed. Postmodernism sees media as essential to globalization. It can lead for everyone to become aware of diverse culture and lifestyle around the world. For the postmodern, there is nothing but interpretation. While on the other hand, modernism is the deliberate break from the traditional form of poetry and prose that took place in the late 19th century. It is all about the reality, knowledge, and morality. Basically, they believe that the world is what we say it is. And now, let's dig deeper to what is postmodernism and modern culture. Postmodernism in the 1960s. In the late 1950s and 1960s that we see the beginning of what it is now understood as postmodernism. In the work of Susan Sontag at 1966 and Leslie Fidler at 1971, we encounter the celebration of what Sontag calls a new sensibility. It is in part a sensibility in revolt against the colonization of modernism's avant-garde revolution. It attacks modernism's official status, its colonization in the Museum of the Academy, as the high culture of the modern capitalist world. For Lyotard, the postmodern condition is marked by a crisis in the status of knowledge in Western societies. This is expressed as the incredulity towards meta-narratives and what he calls the obsolescence of meta-narrative apparatus of legitimation. What Lyotard is referring to is the supposed contemporary collapse or widespread rejection of all overarching and totalizing frameworks that seeks to tell universal stories, meta-narratives, Marxism, liberalism, and Christianity. Baudrillard claims that we have reached a stage in social and economic development in which it is no longer possible to separate the economic or productive realm from realms of ideology or culture, since cultural artifacts, images, representation, even feelings and psychic structures have become part of the world of the economic. According to Connor 1989. For Jameson, postmodernism is more than just a particular cultural style, it is above all a periodizing concept in 1985. Postmodernism is the cultural dominant of late or multinational capitalism. A discussion of postmodernism and popular culture might highlight any number of different cultural texts and practices. For example, television, music video, advertising, film, pop music, and fashion. I have space here to consider only two examples: television and pop music. For Jameson, 1984, the difference between modernist and postmodernist pop music is quite clear. Television, like pop music, does not have a period of modernism to which it can be posed. But as Jim Collins 1992 points out, television is often seen as the quintessence of postmodern culture. This claim can be made on the basis of a number of television's textual and contextual features. Postmodernism has disturbed many of the old certainties surrounding question of cultural value. In particular, it has problematized the question of why some texts are canonized while others disappear without trace. That is why only certain texts supposedly pass the test of time. One way in which the world is said to be becoming postmodern is in its increasing globalization. Perhaps the dominant view of globalization, especially in discussion of globalization and culture, is to see as the reduction of the world. Convergence culture. Another aspect of the postmodern is convergence culture, where old and new media collide, where grassroots and corporate media intersect, where the power of the media producer and the power of the media consumer interact in unpredictable ways. By Henry Jenkins, 2006. Convergence involves the flow of media content across a range of different platforms. This is not simply a matter of new technologies, but a process that requires the active participation of consumers. That's all for my discussion for today. I hope that I give you the best information about postmodern and modern culture. Thank you for watching and listening.